Welcome back to Driven TV. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our second episode, and we are very excited. Today, we are talking about purpose-driven vision. That's right, because without purpose, you can have no vision. And in order to have that vision, you must have direction. We are very excited to have you joining us. We have some very, very special guests that will be sharing their vision, their purpose behind it, and hopefully inspire you to do the same. Thank you for joining Driven, the show where we help elevate artists and entrepreneurs. Thank you. Sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome again back to Driven. I am so excited. Joining me here on the stage today, I have from Hollywood, South Carolina, Miss Vanita Foy. Y'all put your hands together for her, please. From Cross, South Carolina, I have joining us Mr. Stephen Righteous. And they are here today to talk to us about purpose-driven vision. Miss Vanita, what does that mean to you?
Purpose-driven vision is doing exactly what God created you to do and having a vision and being on a mission towards that vision.
Awesome. That's right. How about you, Mr. Righteous? What does that mean to you, purpose-driven vision?
Okay, what that means to me is just allowing myself to be a vehicle or an instrument for the divine to do whatever it wants to do.
Absolutely. Y'all give it up for that, yeah. Well, tell me, you know, I see your shirt here. Can you tell us a little bit about what this shirt is? Does this have to do with your vision?
Yes, 50 Shades of She is actually a book that I'm writing, and I'm interviewing 50 different women in the world. You can be from anywhere, but everyone has a different purpose on the earth, and I want to put together a collection of 50 different women talking about their journey towards their purpose.
That's amazing, because it is a journey, isn't it? And sometimes that journey can be smooth, but most times, let's be honest, it can be very, very rough. You know, can you tell us about any time for you where it's been really rough? Well, before we even go there, I just want to know a little bit more about, can you expand on what else you do overall?
I'm the founder, president, and CEO of the Do You Enrichment Center, and that's a nonprofit organization in which I do community organization. But my sole purpose is to, I'm the CEO of D.R.I.V.E.N and D.R.I.V.E.N Magazine, and that's an organization that assists single moms in stretching themselves and just being who God created them to be. And I teach them to divorce their fears and marry their strength. And I've learned that a lot of single moms have what I call the SMS, which is the single mom syndrome. So I help them to get past that mindset and know that God created us to be exactly who we are, and everyone has purpose.
Amen. I like that. First off, I'm now officially thinking about changing my title to the She EO. Okay, because that just sounds great. But I think that is very powerful, because what I also love is you are not just limited it to a particular group of women. You know, you are catering to single mothers, but for your book, 50 Shades, you are actually catering to women all around the world from different walks of life, because we all have a different one, right? You know, my walk and my path is different than yours, and a man on the other side of you as well. And I think it's very special that you're willing to take that journey with them through this, because it is a journey. And sometimes your journey to your vision can be very, very long and hard. You know, Stephen, when it gets rough for you, what do?
I go inwards instead of like going out in the world, trying to maybe, you know, lessen those challenges by going out into the world. I go inwards. I like to meditate, so I do that daily. So that allows me to face any challenges I may face in the world just by coming to the world from a place of peace.
All right. Well, something I do want to clarify, because I hear people use the word meditate a lot. You know, I've tried meditating and I do it differently, but sometimes I think we get into the habit of thinking it's one way to do it. You know, sit down on the floor, cross your legs, and that's how you do it. Last time I did that, I couldn't get up. I was hurting. So I do it a little different. It looks a lot different. When it comes to meditating, what advice do you have to other people?
First, just give yourself time. Like first, it's like the mind is kind of like throwing up because it has a lot of thoughts, you know, on the mind. So those are going to come up. So it takes time, and one of the key things to do is to be consistent and persistent. Whether it's just 5 minutes a day or even a minute a day, it's just to commit to it and do it. And over time, as you meditate, the mind will become more quiet and it will become more peaceful. A lot of times, you know, people get very anxious and, you know, they want to just, you know, progress really fast, but it just takes time.
Thank you. You know, something I want to talk about real quick. If you notice, Stephen has a habit, he has a great play on words. You hear him talking about being consistent and persistent and progressing outward. It kind of leads me to talk about your artistry a little bit. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, I'm a super conscious hip-hop MC producer, and I guess my genre would be like mystical hip-hop. Like I talk a lot about abstract things, and, you know, I'm trying to find a balance within my artistry to also talk about the mundane issues as well, because I do focus on a lot of the abstract kind of ideas and esoteric high philosophy. But what I'm also trying to do is just make my art more relatable by talking about mundane things as well.
Can you tell us, for some of our younger audiences, what do you mean by mundane?
Like just practical things, like in day-to-day life, like some of the events that's happening in the world now, or it's been going on for a long time, like the assault against African-American males and females, whether it be the political situation in our country, just those mundane, everyday things.
Now, Vanita, he brings up a really good issue, something that I've talked about before and needs to be talked about a lot. Sometimes I think we avoid certain issues, and we don't discuss them like we should. As a mother, and someone as a single mother at that, right? How do you see yourself contributing? Well, first off, how do you feel about those things that are taking place right now?
As a single mom of a 4-year-old son, with a 4-year-old son, it scares me, and it really pushes me to make sure that I cover him every day, because as you can see, it doesn't matter if you are a quote-unquote thug or if you're just someone that is educated, or if you have a business, you are a business owner. It doesn't matter who you are as a person. It seems to me that it's just about the color of your skin. So for me, I just make sure that I cover him every day. As with my daughter, I cover her every day, because even though she's a female, she could be impacted by someone that's targeting our black males. So I cover my children, and I cover anyone that comes in contact with me, and I pray over the world every day.
That's amazing. I appreciate that you pray over the world, because we're all living in it.
Yeah.
And whether you feel like it affects you directly or indirectly, it does. It has an effect. Whether you're seeing it and you're exposed to it, you hear about it, you're still exposed to it. And one way or another, it invokes something deep in your conscience that you may bury inside and not even realize it. And you start acting a little bit differently. But with that being said, my question for you is, you focus on single moms, you focus on women, and you do a lot of positive things. There are other events that you do. I think you actually have one coming up. Can you tell us about it, and tell me, with these events and the workshops and different things that you do, how do you feel it will help change that situation?
Well, I have an event called an Evening of She coming up on August the 20th, and we'll be on Folly Beach under the pier. And with that event is all about celebrating women, and just helping them to see that it doesn't matter who you are as a woman, God still created you with purpose. And with that event, we'll be doing a prayer, we'll be doing a Pearls of Wisdom exchange, and which we have some women coming that will be sharing some of their wisdom with some of the other ladies. And then with the workshops that we do different things to help the moms to get past that mindset of, I'm a single mom. Because sometimes it does get hard, it does get frustrating, you do get angry, and you do feel like the world is against you sometimes. But I help them to see that even though you're a single mom, you can still do it. I use myself as an example. I use different women that come across in my path, different women that I have stood on. And what she actually means is standing on her experiences. And I teach them that it doesn't matter what situation you're in, there's always someone that's been in that same situation that can offer you some type of advice or help you through that process. So I push the She movement everywhere that I go, and I just tell the ladies to always remember that God can help you through anything.
That's right. I'll give her a hand for that. Absolutely. And listen, I'm telling you, we absolutely need it, because I'm a single mother myself, and it does get very rough, and sometimes you forget you are not alone. So we're here to tell you today that you are not, and that when you have people like yourself, Anita, and with you, Stephen, who address issues, who help you understand that you aren't alone, you can really help change a lot of lives. Because let's think about it, especially a single mother, you are that child's parent. So if you're not happy, or you're not pushing it, you don't have the motivation, how can you give it to your child? And if you don't have somebody else in the background who's teaching them something else through their artistry and reminding them that, hey, don't ignore what's going on, but let's try to change it in a different way. Let's be positive. Let's find some other way to deal with it. Then when they leave you and they're hearing something else, how else can we continue to push our children and our families? It's all very important, very important. And one question that I have for both of you is, and I'll start with you, Stephen, when it's all said and done, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Good question. As of now, I don't have any children, and I'm kind of leaning towards not having any. So my music, my artistry, I'm also writing books as well. So that will be my legacy. And hopefully, even if it's not acknowledged while I'm here, when I'm gone, maybe someone can pick up my song or pick up a book that I write, and maybe it can point them to something higher than they're currently able to see.
Awesome. And what about you, Vanita?
The legacy that I would like to leave behind is a transitional house for single moms, and it's called Lean on B. Lean is my grandmother's name. She raised me and my two sisters after my mom passed 25 years ago. And my mom's name is Bernice. And I put them together because these two ladies combined helped me to be who I am today. They paved the path. I remember my mom and my grandmother praying every day, and I always tell people that my grandmother used to pray with me, for me, and sometimes at me. And I say at me because when we're doing things, what she used to do is show us it in the Bible. And that's where at me comes, because if sometimes as a kid, if you can't see it, you don't believe it.
Right.
So she had to show us this is what it is. And I just thank her so much for doing that. And that's the legacy that I'm going to leave for my kids.
Amazing. Well, I thank you both for joining us. Very wonderful stories and legacies. I think you're already in the making. I think you guys have already made a stamp on so many lives, and even sitting here today, breaking history, sharing it with the world. So I'm very excited for both of you, and know that you've said it, but it's already written and it's done. So I applaud both of you. And please make sure that you follow them on Facebook, on social media. Please support them and keep just listening, because I'm guarantee you, if you do, there's bound to change your life and break barriers. This legacy can continue for many people. So I thank you guys. And when we come back, we're going to hear a little something from Mr. Stephen Righteous, everybody. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you. One time for your mind, these righteous lines, bringing divine heat, only simple divine beats. Imbibe the wisdom every day. I deliver divine speech to the masses that try to reach. When you learn, then you must teach. From the thugs on the streets to the women behind sheets, to the children who don't eat with no clean water, to the motherless child. You're all sons and daughters to your higher nature, to your true essence. All can be redeemed, no matter the transgressions. Life crosses the lessons, adversity's really blessings. If there were no problem, you wouldn't start it reflecting, seeking the higher wisdom, seeking for higher truth, giving birth to aspiration, the root inside of you, the product of wisdom, copulating with the soul. Now you know your true purpose, enlightenment's your goal, to a bliss that's so whole, transcendental, experience your true nature as pure soul. So righteous what I do, I tell you, this is what you do. Point your mind to the divine. 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 Point your mind. I've come a long way, but there's a long way to go. I've learned a lot of things, but there's a lot more to know. I ponder who I am, I ponder on why I'm here. I reflect on ancient teachings, there's nothing for me to fear. Everything is divine, but the perceptions of mine sees itself as a separate entity. In space and time getting mystical with these rhymes I deliver with precision. Maxims for uplifting, encourage your righteous living. Practice what I am giving, no contradictions. Removing the impediment so you can see it's evident. Your essence transcending, beyond comprehending. Infinite expression, no beginning, middle, ending. It just is, that's the reason it exists. It doesn't have a sex, it is genderless, skinless, sinless. I could go on forever cause the list is endless. So righteous what I do, I tell you, this is what you do. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. All encompassing, all pervasive. Where you are, stand and sit in all places. At the same time, in these rap lines, with the soldiers taking bullets on the front line. This can't be so won't you stop lying? So why you think a baby's first act is start crying? It is hell here, you took a fell here, cause you desired, you just wanted to try it, to be a human being. But that's a contradiction. You're a god or a goddess and it's not a fiction. Look at the metal netta in the divine depictions. You were bigger than a label, Muslim, Jew, or Christian. Beyond concepts, beyond cognition. But like Haru, who is you, there's a divine mission. You must engage set, which is your own ego. It is not a devil, and it is not evil. Only ignorance, which is termed Kemen. Complete darkness and a complete lack of all wisdom. But you're the victor, sublimate the ego. You're the heroine, and you are the hero. So righteous what I do, I tell you, this is what you do. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Point your mind to the divine. Point your mind. Thank y'all for listening to me. My name is Righteous.
Thank you so much for that wonderful performance. Y'all give it up one more time for Mr. Righteous, everybody. That was amazing. Now, I am so excited to have join me on the stage someone who is very well known throughout the city of Charleston and many other places, someone very passionate about her vision and is very driven with her purpose. Welcoming to the stage, Miss Danielle Richardson, victims advocate, and so much more. Well, Danielle, it's really a blessing to have you here because I know that you are very driven. You stand up a lot for domestic violence, and you've done a lot of training to be officially certified as a victims advocate, and you attend events, you speak to a lot of people, and you share your testimony. Can I ask you a little bit about who you are and your story?
Sure. My name is Danielle Richardson. I am known around town as being the people's advocate. My story and testimony is something that's very unique and it stands out because it supports a cause of domestic violence. Mm-hmm. See, when I was a child, me and my brothers, we witnessed the death of my mom by domestic violence. She was stabbed to death by her boyfriend, which was the father of my two youngest brothers, and they have been in a relationship for 13 years. Mm-hmm. And so with that, it brought on a lot of trauma in our lives because we had to grow up without both parents, and had to also deal with a lot of the adult stuff that, you know, your parents would be here to teach you, but we kind of missed the mark because they weren't here. So we had a lot of trials and tribulations that was going on, and I thank God that God heard my cries, which is a book that I wrote that is titled that as well, to be able to deliver me from out of the sadness and a dark place to where I can be able to find peace, love, and happiness in myself, but also be able to give that to other people. And I wanted to do that simply because domestic violence is an issue and a problem that is really not talked about a lot. And in the state of South Carolina, domestic violence is #1 in the SAD ranking in the United States as being the worst state where men are killing women. And 99% of the men that are killing the women are ones that I've been in a relationship with. And so it just touched my heart, and it makes me sad to see so many deaths by the person that you're supposed to love, or some person who's supposed to love you. And also it hurts me so when I see children that are being involved in the situation, in the domestic violence situation, because children are supposed to grow up in that. They're supposed to grow up in a happy home where, you know, you are loved by both parents and you see love among your both parents. And so when you see a division in between your parents, then the child has to choose. Whose side do I choose? Should I choose my mom's side? Do I choose my dad's side? Or just really just be a protector in it all, or being a peacemaker? And that's really not what a child job is supposed to do. A child job is supposed to be just be a kid, be happy, go to school, clean your room, get in curricular activities, make good grades, and most importantly, make your parents proud.
Right.
But, you know, what happens when you lose both of your parents through violence? Who are you supposed to make proud? How are you be able to stand? And nowadays, you know, in a time where we was growing up in a domestic violence situation, there were organizations such as Goodbye Abuse, which is my organization, or different entities to be able to reach out for help for domestic violence. And so now that I'm an adult and I see the need and know the cause and have the firsthand experience on it, I'm willing to stand up and fight for youth who's going through domestic violence, fight for women and men who are being a part of the domestic violence, and see how does it change. Because as long as we keep ignoring the problem and keep thinking it is as a private family matter, then it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse as a nation.
Absolutely. That's absolutely That is very powerful.
Thank
So
you.
your experiences drive you. You witnessed your mother being killed with your siblings and had to grow up with that. And so now as an adult, you have started the Goodbye Abuse Ministry and use that as a tool to help motivate and help others heal in their healing process, would you say?
Yes. Well, goodbye abuse is a different type of advocacy. Because most advocacy that you see with domestic violence, they talk about a lot of the prevention and the education and the do's and don'ts of what you do when you're in a domestic violence situation. My organization comes from the heart of the recovery effort. Because what do you do? What do you tell someone who's already been involved in their domestic violence situation? How do you help the person who's already gotten out of the situation? Because a lot of times, if everybody keep they preaching about the prevention and the education, which is very good for those who are not or have never been involved in that type of situation. But what if you're already in it and you want to get out? What happens when you're out of the situation and you don't want to go back in? Are there tools and information for me to be able to carry on? And so the mission for Goodbye Abuse Ministries is to restore peace, love, and happiness in the lives of survivors of domestic violence. And that is like you have to find peace. You need the peace to be still. Because when you're involved in so much anger and confusion and upset, and you just want to find peace. And in order you to find peace after you done leave out of the situation, you have to find peace within yourselves. You want to find love. You need to be able to love yourself again because, like the gentleman said earlier, if you can't love yourself, you can't love nobody. And who don't want to be happy?
That's right.
You always want to be in that happy space, in that happy moment. And for me, finding love, peace, and happiness was a journey for me coming from a childhood to an adulthood dealing with domestic violence. So when I know what it feels like now to have peace, love, and happiness, and just being joy, so I want to give that back. And so my ministry, not only we help people get that error in their lives, but we pray with them, we talk with them, we listen to them. Because sometimes you just have to have that listening ear for people. Because a lot of people just talk and tell you, oh, you need to get out, you need to do this, and you need to do that. But when I get out, what do I do? Who's going to be there for me? You telling me that I need to leave, I need to do this, or I should have done that, or I should do this. And when I do all those things you tell me to do, what happens when I'm out of this situation?
Right.
Then most times a lot of the survivors are left with the bag. Like, I'm standing here, and I'm just standing. I don't know where to go at, what to do, what to say. And so that's what Goodbye Abuse Ministry steps in, because we're here to listen, we're here to lend a helping hand, and we also connect with a lot of the grassroots. I love my grassroots organizations because they really work from the heart. We connect with them. If you need a place to stay, I have an organization for you. If you need food, I have an organization for you that be able to help. If you just need that love and the hug, that is what we're here for you. And so in our ministry is this formed with a lot of pastors, evangelists, teachers, survivors, and people who just genuinely just love people and just want to help. And that's who we are. We're for the people, by the people.
And I think that is very great and very important because sometimes in a situation you feel unloved and you place a lot of self-blame. So you need someone to help love you through it. And it is very important. I think what you do is very essential to our community, especially like you mentioned, you witnessed these things as a child. So you went through it. And there's so many others in your situation. And people forget about the children because they have to understand that the children are impacted. Even if they're not the ones being hit, they're witnessing it. So they're still experiencing it. And it's still shaping them as they grow. They learn this as they grow up. And these behaviors, even if they don't want to do them sometimes, they happen. And a lot of times, too, sometimes children end up in a situation where they lash out because of everything that's locked away in their memory.
Exactly.
That's sticking to them. And something very important, we talked about some of the statistics from South Carolina earlier. With those men killing women, how many of them are killed by a gun?
Oh, and the domestic violence I think that the statistics are saying it's about 75 to 80% of the weapon of choice in domestic violence homicide is by a gun.
75 to 80% choice of weapon is a gun. That tells you a lot. A lot, guys. That means there's too much access and ease of access to get these guns for people to use. And we got to retrain our brains a lot.
Yes, exactly. And then just recently we just had the Supreme Court to put like a federal ban for domestic violence abusers to be banned from guns for a certain amount of time. And we also have been very lobbying in the state of South Carolina about the gun ban, and we did reform some domestic violence laws that was passed in the last couple of years, which is a very good step for South Carolina because some of our laws was really outdated in the domestic violence situation. And thank God that the Post and Courier did a awesome article about To Death Do Us Part, which was one of the key factors inside the article, but it made the South Carolina State Legislature look as, like, wow, not only we are number one in domestic violence in the nation, but look how it is affecting the women and the children of South Carolina.
Absolutely.
And and South Carolina has this persona as being like the number one state to live in, the number one state to visit, especially in Charleston. Like we're like number one in manners and stuff like that. So you can't have such a high profile state with all great these things coming in, and then we're number one in domestic violence and men killing women. So it's like, oh, I'll fall in love with in any other state but South Carolina. You don't want to have that. So
absolutely.
We're working very hard to be able to get the gun laws passed, and where they're banned and for a certain amount of time, or even a life ban if possible for abusers.
Y'all give a hand clap for that, y'all. She is lobbying for us. And see, that is something that people do need a limit on. Whether it's a gun because you're domestic violence, someone who's condoned that or enforced that or anything of that nature, or someone who's been a victim on the other side, because sometimes you might retaliate too. But it's good to take that out of the home. And just imagine with those numbers, 75 to 80% of people, their choice of gun, and men killing women, just imagine those numbers shifting and changing if they didn't have a gun. How much of a chance that person might have.
Exactly. And one of the big things that was in the State House with the guns are about the Second Amendment right. And this is what I stand by. If the Second Amendment says you have the right to bear arms, true indeed. If you, by all means, want a gun, and you want to purchase it, and you have it, and you want to place it in your home, that's fine, because it's in the Constitution. It said you can have a gun for protection. So you protect yourself, and you protect your home, you protect your wife, your children, your family with your gun, in case of a intruder comes or whatever. But when you pick up that gun in your home and you point it at or you threaten another member of your family, whether it's your children or your spouse, that becomes a weapon. Then that's when it becomes a weapon, then that means you don't need it.
That's right. I agree. Well, you guys might have noticed something, a common theme with a lot of our guests today so far, including Danielle. We are seeing a lot of pink and black. And that is because we are a part of the 1 Billion Rising campaign. 1 Billion Rising is an international sensation that is taking place around the world. And every year in February, around Valentine's Day, Danielle has had the privilege to actually speak at one of our events. We've hosted the Vagina Monologues. I know that's a big word a lot of people don't want to hear, but it's something we need to, because we accept so many other words. But that play isn't just a play. It isn't something we should stay away from, but it's something much needed. It talks about domestic violence. It shares the stories and truths of other women and even children. And there are people, the reason why it's part of the 1 Billion Rising campaign, it's called that, is because literally 1 billion people around the world all together at the same time on the same day come together and they take a stance against domestic violence. And we will be doing that again. In fact, in September, we will be hosting that show once again. And I'm very excited about it. And later on, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. There's also going to be information on our website to talk about it, and ways that you can reach the Goodbye Abuse Ministry for anyone you need, or to reach Danielle specifically as well. And when we come back, I'm very excited because one of the things we talked about was about gun violence. And here to share a piece from my book that I wrote called I Heard Chicago Crying Outcry will be two of our very special guests. We're welcoming back to the stage Demetria Crenshaw and Christopher Johnson. So I can't wait to see you when you come back. Take care.
Hello. We're going to be doing a piece by Anastasia Ketchen, and this is entitled, Please Don't. Please don't. Please don't. I am a father, simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. I just spend my very last dime trying to provide for my family. I've committed no crime. The perpetrator you seek just walked right past you. I just happened to pass through the door when he did too. Please, sir, I have a family to get to, so I beg of you, please don't shoot.
Please don't. I'm someone's cousin. I know the times you've seen me about a dozen. The last time I received a nasty threat, that if I got caught hustling in the street or taking any more bets, it'd be something I seriously regret. But I'm just a man out here trying to survive. I know I'm not the most cunning, and maybe I'm not too wise, but I'm a man, not a goat. I have rights. I don't deserve to be choked, no matter what anger I may provoke.
Please don't. I am someone's son. I don't even own or carry a gun. Just because of my appearance, you've made up your mind about me. You haven't even considered I may come from poverty. You determined I must be a thug, not that I'm wearing hand-me-downs from my Uncle Junebug. Or perhaps I've lost weight and these clothes are old. Or maybe I'm in layers because I'm cold.
Please don't. Don't you hear all of the cries begging you not to take any more lives or take any more lies? Please don't. Can't you hear what they say begging you to keep the pain and the confusion away? Please don't. No one else has to die. Please don't make another grandmother cry. You already taken a husband from his wife, ended a valedictorian's life. You took away a child from his mother. You took a good man from his lover. Another child will never see their father, only this time he had no choice. His life was taken because he tried to raise his voice. Please don't. She only needed help from you, terrified of the things that come out at night and what might they do. Stranded in a broken down car and a dead phone with not a single bar.
She finally mustered up just enough courage and came to your downstairs, unarmed, no gun, not even a knife. Never would she guess ringing your doorbell would end her life. So many by man's hands are now dead. If only they could speak, I'm sure they would have said, please don't, I'm someone's friend. Please don't, I'm someone's nephew. Please don't, I'm just a teen out past curfew. Please don't, I'm someone's daughter. Please don't, I'm a grandmother. Please don't, I'm just a man. Please don't, I am a human.
Please
Big
don't.
shout outs to Demetria Crenshaw and Christopher Johnson. Thank you so much for that wonderful reading. Welcoming back to the stage, we have Classy C's Catering, everybody. Y'all give them a big hand. Woo! I think this is going to be my favorite part to the show, because this is the passageway to my soul, y'all. Girls gotta eat so girl can live, okay? They have some wonderful food and beautiful colors here and fragrances here. I'm gonna let them talk about it so I can eat about it. Go ahead, Courtney, tell us a little bit about what we're doing here.
Okay, so right now we're making a dish called, after my grandmother, called Ethel Shrimp and Grits. She's never actually made this dish. I just felt as though she would make a dish of this, so this was inspired by her. So right now we have the peppers and onions sauteing with the bacon in the pan. And then next we will be putting in the sausage.
Ooh, that looks so beautiful, y'all. So we said we got some peppers and onions, and we're gonna be adding some sausage next.
Yes.
Okay, we got some beautiful sausage sitting here. All right, what else do we have here on the table?
Next we will add in the shrimp and then our secret ingredients, which is in our broth to make the gravy.
All right, but it's a secret, so you can't tell me what it is.
No, I can't.
You can't write it down and put it around
give away
your
my
back.
money. I can't give away my money.
Oh, girl, I heard that. Keep it. But if you want to slide, piece of something. All right, so we got the onions in here. We got our peppers. We got the sausage. Now we're getting ready to add the shrimp, which I see is pre-seasoned with the secret ingredients.
First, we're going to let this cook down a little bit so
Okay.
that the flavor can get in the pan.
All right.
And then we'll add the shrimp afterwards.
Y'all, it smells so good. I'm telling y'all, when it comes to some mouth-watering flavors of the South, Classy C's Catering is the way to go. They do a lot of events. They do weddings, birthdays,
Private dinners.
private dinners, the show. They do a little bit of everything. And y'all, I'm telling you, this is going to be bigger than just Charleston. This is going to be global. This is something wonderful. Y'all give them a hand for what they're doing up here, y'all. Right now, as they're preparing this dish, we're actually going to show you what it looks like in the end as I eat some of it. But I'm going to show it to you first. But it smells so good, y'all. Right now, just playing with my emotions while I'm cooking. But this dish is something that you can probably make at home or anywhere. Okay, and it was inspired by her grandmother, which I think is wonderful.
So next, we're going to add the shrimp.
Ooh. Put that shrimp in there, put that shrimp in there. Woo!
And the reason why we add the shrimp last is because you never want to overcook seafood. It will get dry and it'll get mushy and it won't be good to eat.
Good to know, good to know. Because in cooking this well, we also got to be healthy about it too, amen? Do y'all see how wonderful he picked up that bowl and just tilted it right into the pot and eased that shrimp in there? He landed it just right. Y'all give him a hand for that stirring and that cooking, y'all. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, and we don't want to ruin the shrimp because they're expensive. Seafood is not cheap. No. Even when you catch it yourself, you gotta have a license. You gotta have a license to drive. You gotta have a license to eat. Lord, you gotta have a license to breathe after a while. Oh, see, somebody in the audience forgot they didn't get their license. Y'all make sure y'all know that I don't know them, okay? So as they're cooking here and they're getting ready for their secret ingredients, and it's just smelling so good. Doesn't it smell good, everybody? Yes. Y'all give them a hand clap for that. This right here just make you want to shout. Let us speak in tongues up in here, y'all. It smells so good. I can't wait to taste some of this. I'm going to show you guys how beautiful this is going to come out in the end. And then I'm going to show you how good it's going to taste. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit here so y'all can see the beautiful plating that she's done. What's so wonderful about this is not only is it going to taste good and they use wonderful ingredients, but they make it look so beautiful. Isn't that beautiful, everybody? Yes. Yes, honey, yes. It was almost too beautiful to eat, but it's not quite. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to count on my shrimp. So, you know, some people be stingy with the shrimp, but she was not stingy with this shrimp, let me tell you.
So next we're going to add our broth.
All right.
With our secret ingredients involved.
You sure you don't want to write them down for me? I won't tell nobody.
No.
Okay. And look at how he just eases that broth in there. Now, with this broth, because the texture that you created looks pretty well. You know, sometimes you get to some gravy and it's kind of chunky. It's either extra thick or very watery. So is there a technique behind that?
One thing is, it's all about, cooking is about being consistent. If you're consistent, you can make an awesome dish. Yeah, so I always say be consistent, be clean, be organized. Just some tips.
So be consistent, be clean, and be organized.
Yes.
Why is it so important to be organized?
Because if you're unorganized, most of the time you're probably a messy person. So I'm pretty sure you don't want to eat from a messy person.
So that person that I declined, I still love you, but now you know why. I didn't say it.
I did.
So you got to get clean, consistent, and organized. And I might.
So right now we're going to add a little bit of seasoning in there.
Ooh. I noticed that you don't just splatter it on one spot. You kind of spread it around. That's good.
And then we're going to wait for the gravy to thicken up, and that will be our dish with our grits over here. And our grits right here, it has, a lot of y'all were asking, so I may give the secret out today, just today. You can use chicken broth, you can use heavy cream or milk. You can also put any cheese involved that you like. And that's all the secrets I'm going to give.
Ooh, y'all better write that down. No playback, no playback. And y'all see the wonderful texture of that, and I'm telling you, it is the bomb. It is so good, so delicious. So all these ingredients together came to make the dish called
Ethel Shrimp and Grits.
Ethel Shrimp and Grits. Right here, it's about to be in my tummy. Y'all give a big round of applause for Classy C's Catering. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I will tell y'all how it tastes when we come back. Sorry. I might let you lick the spoon if I don't try to bite it first. Thank you. Welcome back, and thank you again so much to Classy C's Catering. Y'all give them a big hand. That was so delicious. Isn't it wonderful how inspired we can be? We can take some of our tradition and mix it up with something of ours and just make it our own. It's wonderful to see such a creative artistry being used so well and as a way and a tool to bring people together. I know it certainly would bring me to any table that they sit. I'm just saying, so next time you guys have an event, if you want to invite me or you have a unexpected cousin show up, it's me. Well, coming back to the stage, I'm going to welcome some very, very special guests. We're going to bring back Jordan B-Boy Sonobi, who you guys saw performing at the beginning. Yes, he's going to come up and tell us a little bit about his purpose-driven vision. And all the way from Georgia, guys, I am bringing up a very special guest who is a phenomenal artist, father, and husband by the name of Willie Rap Harris. So welcome back. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Welcome to the stage, guys. Once again, Jordan B-Boy Sonobi. And also joining us all the way from Georgia, the big old GA. Give it up to Mr. Willie G, everybody. Well, guys, I am so glad you're able to join us today. You know, as you know, today we're focusing on purpose-driven vision. Again, that's purpose-driven vision. And that's something, you know, I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. You know, I'm going to start with you a little bit, Will, because something that really intrigued me about you is that is what you do. You focus.
Oh, yeah. I'm a workaholic.
Yes. And tell me, like, what drives you?
I guess seeing what was in front of me, you know, seeing my pops and uncles and grandfathers and all of them settle for average, which is honorable. It's honorable working 40 years at the same job. But if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do what you are about to do, then it's a waste of time to me. So I do everything for my children. My legacy is, of course, them, to give them something to own and not borrow and have to give back later, you know?
That's right. Amen to that, y'all. Tell me exactly how are you doing that, though? What do you do?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a musician. I do art. I'm a rapper. I'm also a business owner and a soon-to-be motivational speaker. But first and foremost, I'm a rapper. That's what I do.
All
you know
right.
What I'm saying? I was going by R.A.P., Rhythm and Praise, but I went back to my regular name, Willie G, because they were beginning to put me in a box of a genre that I wasn't. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, I'm saved and I'm unashamed of my faith, but I am not a gospel artist because that limits my artistry. So I went back to Willie G just so I can be free of all limits that they try to put me on.
I hear that. All right. That's wonderful, y'all. That is truly honorable because to have your motivation be your children, your family, and you really pushing for that. I love the fact that you said that you are doing it so that one day they don't have to borrow, they can have. And that's something we all need to sit back and start teaching our children, that you don't need to borrow, you need to own it. Have it, own your land, own what you do, own your business. I think that is important, so give them a hand for that, y'all. Jordan, tell me a little bit more about what you do. I mean, we saw it earlier. You spinning and flipping and twisting and doing stuff that I know I could not do today. Maybe once upon a time when things moved, but not now.
Well, basically, I am a professional, b-boy. I do travel. I do compete. Yes, they do have competition still, even today.
Not even just in the movies?
Not even just in the movies. It's actually a very huge scene. Like, it's really crazy. I'm talking about there's, like, competitions from Cali to Philly to, of course, New York to Florida. Florida's scene is ridiculous, and it's even to the point that there's even been competitions in Germany.
Wow.
They go in, like they go in. So and also I do teach, like I taught, and I also help with my church too, because we have a dance or praise industry. Well, I'm sorry about it. But basically, we do have like a dance ministry. There you go. See, right. So we do have a dance ministry that I help with, and everything is going beautiful because out of all of it, I actually like the dance ministry better because it's just showing, basically giving my thanks to, my Father up above for giving me this gift in the first place. So when I dance, it's almost like I'm saying thank you to him because he didn't have to give this gift to me, you know what I'm saying? So.
So is there, I mean, obviously you love what you do. Have you been doing this since you were like, in the womb?
Yeah, I always tell people this and it blows their mind. I literally got really into it when I was 5 years old in New York. And then I started actually competing and got serious about it when I was 13. And I'm doing this at 27. So it's keeping me it's keeping me fit a little bit. So yeah.
I should have visited you a while ago. Well, thank you for that. So those of you who are looking for a new exercise plan, please visit Jordan B-Boy Sonobi, a.k.a. the Zumba instructor / B-Boy. So, well, I think that's amazing. And the fact that you do it, so you do a youth at your church? Is that what you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what drives you? Like, what's your purpose really behind doing it?
I'm sorry, y'all. It's really a touchy subject. I don't tell this to people sometimes, unless they really ask and everything. But basically, when I was born, there was a chance that my mom almost lost me. So I'm basically, I'm a miracle baby, basically. So just knowing the fact that I'm here and I'm moving it's almost really relief to me because people always see me dancing and they say, man, he's always smiling. Like he's smiling. Like he looks happy, yo. And I'm like, and then I tell them because when I dance and when I smile and I be able to be free, I always thought in my mind like, man, what if I wasn't here? You know what I'm saying? So it basically, when I dance, it's almost like a celebration of life, It's just, I feel free because I'm like, I'm here. I'm inspiring because I always believe in inspiring people. If you can inspire somebody, no matter if it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, even a week, just that moment to inspire somebody, it could change anything. Because I believe in inspiration is just a part of creation. You know what I'm saying? So just the fact that I'm here and I'm able to dance, not just dance, but inspire, especially younger kids, to look at me and be like, hey, yeah, I dig that. It's a beautiful thing. So that's what drives me, the fact that, God ain't through with me yet.
Amen. I love that. Thank you. That's deep. I really appreciate both of you. One question I do have for you, Willie, is what legacy, I know you mentioned the word legacy earlier, but what is one thing, well, I'm going to ask you two questions. The first is, what advice do you want to give to other people out there, youth especially those who come from a tough situation and have almost lost hope, but they might have a tiny bit left? What would you give them right now?
If what you're chasing only consists of you and you getting glory and you getting riches, then that's just ambition. But something that's worth living for is outside of who you are. It's bigger than you. It involves other lives.
Wow.
That's what I would give them.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's deep. I like that.
Absolutely. And my second question to you is for your children, for your family, for everyone else. What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Me? Of course, dope music. Of course, dope music. Like, I want them to be bumping me like they bumping Tupac now, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, for my kids, like, like I said, my kids and my wife, like they know I'm like daddy coach. Like I'm tender, but I'm like, I don't know, I guess I see so much. I want them to know that dreams aren't free. And then it takes a lot of work, but at the same time, don't get so involved. Like, don't get so involved in chasing that you forget to breathe and enjoy the little smiles. I want to leave with them. I won't leave. What's the sense of, I don't know, pride or whatever. I just want them to go after whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Go after it, because faith without works is dead. Believe that God is bigger than anything that you're chasing, and don't simple yourself down to the systems of this world. Don't believe that you have to do this. You don't have to do nothing. You do whatever God puts in your heart, and live that. That's what I would leave for my family. That's what I live for them, for the most part.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Well, y'all put your hands together one more time for Jordan, Sonobi, Willie G. And when we come back, we get to hear some of the sickest rhymes that are bound to change your life from Willie G. Y'all give it up for him. We'll see you when y'all get back. It's a performance you don't want to miss.
Hey, what's up, man? I wrote this track, man. From everything that was going on, man, I just sat down in my room and I just spazzed out. Little head knocker.
Keep the faith and keep it moving, man. So I'm gonna
I call it hope.
Give it to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Keep the hope up, man. Keep the faith alive, real talk.
I can't seem to get ahead right now. Trying to keep these visions on my head right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. I can't seem to get ahead right now. Plenty people murder, people scared right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. This ain't about the shooting, let me lay the crucial. People, they been leaning, but that shooting really blew 'em. This ain't about pulling a hate car. I'm against great bars, cause at times I feel like people be on rape charge. Swiping through the news, what we gonna do? Elevate our thinking to the proper level, dude. Hate can't drive hate, no, it's that the answer. Prayer is the key to eliminate this cancer. Too many sons gone, dying with their hands up. Will we be concerned or continue chasing bands, bro? It's a roll call, I done seen enough fall. Will we come together, will we unify enough? With our hands up, brothers will man up. I'm just an advocate, trying to make a stand, bro. Love is the key, and is death the only answer? We gotta kill it, murder to this cancer. I can't seem to get ahead right now. Trying to get these visions out my head right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. I can't seem to get ahead right now. Plenty people murder, people scared right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. Keep it moving, Lord, me keep it moving right now. But it's crazy, mothers without babies, some without their fathers, and a solid man to raise it. I appreciate it, mama, just for teaching me the basics. Violence after violence, and I'm starting to see the greatness. I know you see a picture, but we starting to erase it. Just after Jesse, yeah, we starting to replace it. Talking about the system, but we always fail to change. If we here to make a difference, and I promise you we make it. We got kids with a future, gotta get it to them. But I trust in God, and I don't see them losing. It's the pattern that's intact. Like who can live the truest? Money ain't a thing, and my people going through it. I would rather build a game plan, elevate the next dude. Only way we build is we elevate the next dude. So put your hands up with me. Say put your hands up with me. Thank God with me. Appreciate y'all.
Y'all give it up one more time for all of our artists. They are amazing. Now, don't forget, we have a very special category in the show called Rage on the Stage. That's right, Rage on the Stage. Respectfully achieving greater excellence. You have got to help our artists out. They're competing against one another in a competition that we will have annually. So coming up in the spring, we will have a competition where your votes will decide who will be the Rage champion for the year. That's right, the Rage champion. So they will not only gain a title, but a nice ultimate prize package, so it's only up to you guys. We will post their videos online, and based upon how many shares and likes that they receive, they will be nominated for the competition. So their title is in your hands. Y'all go ahead and Rage on the Stage. Visit their videos, like and share. Thank you. Be blessed.